All right, all right. Good Monday morning, and we are recording. Cool. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So what we're looking at is we have a bull flag possible on the weekly. Now that's quite a climb to make that bull flag trigger. We got to hit 49, 44.91.25 to trigger that flag on the weekly. But the trend looks pretty strong. We drop, what's going on over here? We drop down to the daily, and we're looking at the futures right now. So that gives us the picture. The futures drop below the moving average. And it's putting in a little hammer on the daily. But again, that's the daily. We can't really say what that's going to look like. Momentum is kind of negative. So big bearish bar for yesterday's daily or Friday's daily. Oh, excuse me. I guess the pollen's out. So big daily bar, which was a negative, and we're dropping down, but let's see if we could recover, really. So on the dailies, we're kind of looking bearish, but on the 240s, we're looking a little bullish, and we just broke to close that gap. So we may even open up a lot higher than we're looking at right now. It's just that every time we close that gap, we turn around and shoot right back down in the afternoon. So we're going to have to watch that. So you know what? I'm neutral, man. I really can't call it. But what I'm looking at on the weeklies, that's keeping me interested. Now, this really isn't a head and shoulders pattern, right? Because an inverted head and shoulders pattern, because that really has to be at the bottom part of a run. So yeah, you know, we would have to run down, see this pattern to legitimately say it's a inverted head and shoulders. But it is a pattern that's indicating that we could reverse the trend. I mean, we could argue that we're consolidating, right? Because here's our low, here's our high. We're trading within this, we're consolidating. But where are we going to go? So we have this trend reversal on the momentum. And if we can put in a higher low, and then we should break this high and put in a higher high. And I'm thinking if we do push down, really, I'm watching the 204.25 as a support if we do push down. And that would give us a nice trend. I mean, 1, 2, 3, this is the third bar, the third week. So this could be a good low for the weekly. And then away we go. So, you know, that's what I'm watching. And if we take a look at it on the SPX, you know, we're looking at the same thing, man. We're looking at the same thing. I mean, today could be a good low. You know, we need like really a tail, good tail. Did we hit that 63 mark yet? This trend line doesn't make sense to me. It makes better sense over here. Hit that 76%, came back down. Really, you know what? Let's take a look at it over here. I know this isn't exciting, but just trying to get a feel for what we got going on. See, I like that. I like looking at that. Let's have it here. You know, this is telling me we retrace to the 50%. 55 is 43, 49. We hit 43.81. We're down about 20 now. That puts us at 60 or 50. I think we're going to tag that 55% and retrace. I mean, we could go to 43.14 this week. and that would be a 61% retrace. That's not a bad one either. I mean, we really should just be watching for some sort of indication of a turnaround. But this is a weekly pattern. This is a long-term pattern, which if we do make new lows this week, then the trigger would be next week, and that would move us into May for the move up, which sounds pretty probable, you know? I don't know, man. I'm saying 43.14 is our low of the week. That's what I'm looking at, I think. I mean, these are predictions, and you don't trade on those. I mean, it just gives you your bias. But yeah, here's our daily bar. That's a real negative bar. We're dropping off right now. I mean, the market's coming back actually. That 240 on the on the futures triggered, but we're oversold over here. And we're only down about 9. I saw it down about. I think last night I saw us down about 50. We could revisit those lows today. But this is a very indecisive bar right here. Here's an inside bar. Here's an inside bar that triggered, right? That's a setup. It should have continued moving up. That bullish trigger failed. Usually turns bearish, which it did. And now we broke the low over here, right? That low is 392. This low is 390. We broke it just enough to call it an engulfing bearish. It just wasn't that aggressive an engulfing bearish. But that's a negative bar. I mean, you have a bullish trade or a bullish entry that failed, turned bearish, and then created a bearish entry. So that's a negative bar. So based on this daily, you got to argue that today's a down day, right? But and it's not even diverging. You have an inflection right here, which is very negative also. But for that inflection to trigger, we're going to have to break the low of 81.34. So that's what we're going to have to keep our eye on today. I mean, what I'm looking at long term, I just can't see it yet during the day. I mean, I'm optimistic, but I just don't see it happening yet. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on that, see if I can take advantage of that, get in on that move. When we're looking at Bitcoin, Bitcoin, you know what? Bitcoin is the same setup, man. I mean, this is just not an engulfing, right? This is still an inside bar, which gives you an indecisive bar. But the break of the low of this inside bar is the move down. And is this today? Yeah, that's today's bar. So then we broke, we triggered, we moved down, we're rebounding a little bit for the day. We don't have an inflection, and my Mac Daddy is fading on the histogram, but we're still not rolling over in the slow and fast line. So I mean, I would like to see an entry. I would like to tag this down here, which is considerably low. But in order for that to happen, the S&P's got to move down too, because these guys are trading in lockstep now. See, like the Bitcoin is even breaking the 240 high to close the gap. Oh man, just a hard one to call. It's a hard one to call. So we're gonna have to just keep an eye on it, see what goes on during the day, and watch that market. The 10-year is ripping. Everybody's doing really well on that TBT. If you took it with me back at 2 or 3 months ago, I think we got in it between 15 and 17, somewhere around there. I know I got in around 15, but I don't think I started talking about it until it was like 17 or so. But we're doing well on that. That's good. And you know what? We're going to sit on this, man. I mean, there's no reason why we can't see something close to the 60s. So we'll just let that keep working for us and make the money. All right, so that's it. And the other thing is, looking at the news, really not a whole lot going on CNBC headlining, some Ukraine stuff and American Airlines. The airlines are pretty optimistic about what's going to go on. A little COVID over in Shanghai. You know, that's like bittersweet because these guys consume a lot of shit, and you know, commodities spike because these guys consume a lot of stuff, but they manufacture a lot of trash too that we buy. You know, which I guess we could all take that lesson, stop buying it. I mean, between them supporting communism and the atrocities in the Ukraine, the violation of human rights, the violation of freedom of speech, and the crap that they put out. Because you know, if it's made in China, that shit is made to break within weeks. I mean, you know, as Americans, we ought to start saying, "Fuck this! Stop buying this stuff." And start manufacturing here in the States, or put it all in South and Central America. I mean, those guys need the work. They're right by our borders. They get on our line. We could bomb the shit out of them. I mean, you know, I don't understand. Too many politicians earning off of China. That's what the problem is. So anyway, I digress. Really not a whole lot market moving in CNBC. We hop over and look at what's going on in the economic world here. And as far as earnings, we have all these banks today. Lots of banks today. Bank of America beat. Uh, Bank in New York missed by 2 cents. We got Schwab coming out, and their going forward statements are going to um, um, be more important than their earnings. But their going forward statements, they're going to talk down. You know, they're going to talk them down. The analysts will come in light, and then they'll exceed next quarter. And you know, that's the game. You know, that's the game. So that's why people are buying the rumors, selling the news, because you know. They're going to talk the stock down, stock's going to tank. They're going to buy it when it comes out, and they make their announcements. Everybody will liquidate. So that's my vibe. When you look at what's going on, how do we get back to my trading economics page? Nope. Earnings, bonds, commodities, stocks, holidays. Here we go. Calendar. All right. As far as news, we got nothing going on. We got a few Fed speaking. They're actually, these guys are getting their 50 minutes of fame in. Look, we got them on Tuesday, and we got them speaking on Wednesday. There's Evans and Daly speaking at around 10:30, and then we go out to Thursday, and we've got Powell speaking at 11, and then Powell speaking at 1. And, you know, it's nothing new, but everybody's going to listen to the verbiage and see if their opinions change. But there's really no data coming out that's going to change them. I mean, housing starts, things like that, but really nothing inflation oriented. Existing home sales, which I guess if all that comes down, that's going to hit the number, and that'll be important. But the following week we have some good durable good orders and GDP, personal income, personal spending. Personal spending is probably going to be a big market mover, and then the PMIs and jolt. So that's it. Not a lot to move the market other than earnings reports, and we can watch the earnings reports, listen to the conference, see what that does, and the technicals remain the same. So anyway, subscribe, hit the bell, hit the like. Join me at about 9:25, 9 o'clock. See what's going on, and we'll try to get some trades in, see if we can't make some money. Look, we're closing that gap already. I mean, that shows some strength into the market. I just feel as though we're going to close that gap and then make a move, you know, one way or the other. If we open up flat, it's going to be anybody's game. I mean, if we can get a ball like this right here by the end of the day, that's very positive. That, you know, that's a good sign for me that we're moving back up. We'll probably come up to that 20-day moving average, 20 and 30, kind of joining there. 4501 would probably be the target throughout the week if we could break that, which, you know, would be beautiful. That would make that that weekly flag possible. So okay, I guess I can go on forever. Everybody, um, just join me at 12 o'clock. Oh, subscribe, hit the bell, hit the like, and do me all those favors. And yeah, some comments. Let me know what you think of my reports, how I'm doing. I'll take the negatives along with the positive. And hey, good luck trading.